I feel is also going to be a very explosive matchup, but for different reasons, because obviously Shayd has a lot of explosive and can use them to a pretty good effect. Meanwhile, we do have Alki, who is going to be willing to go in and stop this this zoning monster that can be Ileana.
Indeed, both of these characters are very explosive gameplay type characters. Zetaburn likes to really get in close and combo you with the amount of percent possible, and especially with the burn mechanic. And Ileana likes to trap you with the different types of weaponry that she has in her arsenal, get an air combo for a kill, and as I say that, the explosive down strong there coming in from Alki for the first kill of the set.
This down strong can kill very early when you're burned, and Shayd is just gonna take the stock right back with those up airs. Very good tool to have, honestly, as Ileana, just to take your blast zone for take your opponent for a ride. And my gosh, just lots of exchanges right now, just lots of dialoguing in a way, you know. You get a projectile, I get a projectile. There's just a lot of the dialogue when you are against Ileana sometimes.
Indeed, and one thing I was liking before while you were talking there is Shayd isn't really necessarily approaching. Shayd is waiting for an open moment that Alki does something that leaves him open for a way to get in, because if you're just going to be rushing down Zetaburn, it's not going to be easy to keep it going, because Zetaburn just has the tools at his disposal with his speed as well as the speed of his moves to be able to just snuff that out really quickly. And right now we're seeing it here with the Shayd not dying yet at 126%, and Alki needs to find this opening for a kill confirm here. It looks like he's able to get the down strong, but it didn't kill because of no burn, and now Shayd is burned. So that's going to be a little bit of a detriment. However, the down strong from the overheat going in, and now with Alki currently off stage, having a big disadvantage here against someone like Ileana.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We're talking about that, but patience is very much key in this matchup, both from Shayd's side and from Alki's side. Just gonna be a very patient to actually get some hits in. And right now, Shayd is going to lose losing that battle pretty hardly. Alki just racking up the percent, and from the top blast zone, Shayd is going to be gone for that game one.
Indeed, we said it before in the beginning that this was going to be one heck of an explosive set, and so far we saw it with Alki just getting that 2-stock lead and taking it for the win. And here we are now at Air Armada. I feel like this is a good stage for both characters. I feel like, though, it is more so favored for Ileana here, especially because of the type of recovery that she has.
Yeah, Ileana's definitely going to be more advantage in terms of recovery, but at the same time, I feel like Zetaburn can get some pretty good follow-ups from those top platforms, even if the blast zone can be pretty high on this stage compared to some other stages. But hey, that's just me. Maybe Shayd, even player can actually make it work at this point. It has been a rather even match overall, so who knows.
Right, I feel like for this stage in particular, the platforms are just a little bit too high for Zetaburn, because you have to read your opponent getting onto the platform in order for you to get something like, say, an up strong kill confirm or an up air sweet spot kill confirm. Because you have to do a double jump instead, it's just a little bit more time that it takes to get up there compared to someone like Ileana, who's just able to float up there with ease. And speaking of with ease, that 4-strong came out so easily for Alki, taking that first stock away from Shayd.
It's definitely more committal, but it can still be pretty good and lead some pretty interesting confirms nonetheless. And so far, Alki is just doing a great job at getting those pokes in on Shayd overall. Sometimes following the DI, but mostly getting those pokes in, racking up the percent without being too committal, as we were saying. And it's been working out dividends, honestly, against Shayd.
Ooh, and there's the up air coming in from Shayd, taking that first stock away from Alki. However, you're in a little bit of a detriment here, off stage, trying to set yourself up in an advantageous position. Looks like Shayd was able to get it. However, neutral was reset, getting caught in the trap. Alki in a little bit of trouble, but gets the parry and the burn, and the down strong takes it for the stock. And now Shayd with 1 stock left is in a little bit of a panicking sort of position.
Definitely the predicament right now. I feel like Shayd isn't the type of player to necessarily panic under pressure, but it's still a tough situation to be in, especially when Zetterburn can just come in and pick up your upbeat just like that and rack up some percentage on you. But hey, look, if you don't look at the stocks, this is still pretty even, but Alki, again, been very consistent with poking, and that is going to be it. As I said, the downstrong on the platform gonna get a pretty early kill here.
Indeed. This is the disadvantage of being a heavy character like Eliana. You're prone to getting comboed like this, and it's not easy to get out of it either, especially for a character like Zetterburn, who's able to just combo to the living ends of the earth. And here we are, immediately going for what could have been a 0 death from Alki at the very start here at Truffle Pond, but Shayd was able to DI out of it just the way they needed it to go. And now Shayd going with a bit of a 0 death for themselves, but Alki was able to make it out of it pretty well. And now it's just a back and forth between both of them.
Lots of back and forth in this game 3, with Shayd actually going very deep, trying to get that kill, which I respect considering Zetterburn's recovery can be a little bit linear at times, but the up air here is going to be enough to take it off the top.
Indeed, and Shayd almost taking that stock off the top away from himself there, but it looks like Alki was able to get the sweet spot there for the kill, and now both players are pretty even at 2 stocks apiece with low percents.
It definitely feels like Shayd right now is much more comfortable with how Alki is playing and how he controls the stage, but it's still going to be very tough with how we've seen Alki move and how we've seen Alki just get those pokes in. It's still going to be a tough matchup, but hey, Shayd is starting to just comprehend how this movement works and how to catch Alki off guard.
Yeah, that's one of the most important things that you have to do with Eliana. You have to be watching when your opponent leaves himself in an open and compromised position. And the Steam helps with that as well, because it makes a multi-hit whenever the opponent lands in it. However, Shayd right now with the overheat gets parried, and Alki burning Shayd and going for another fair, but doesn't decide to go for it. And I definitely agree, but what was that out of Shayd? The forward air and leading into the accidental suicide.
Yeah, unfortunately, Shayd was still in overheat state and was still in tough position. Alki is gonna take very deep to survive here and get that Gatling real quick. This is... so, suddenly it's looking very, very poor for Shayd. Thankfully, gonna get that kill by proxy, you know, by scaring Alki into the blast zone. And yeah, that's the beginning of a comeback, and already, my gosh, that was very quick.
Just as you say, Shayd making a comeback, Shayd does it for us all here. Getting a point on the board, are we potentially going to see the reverse 2-0 coming in from Shayd? I definitely hope so, and I hope that wasn't a commentator's curse.
Yeah, we'll see, but going into Game 4, we do have Merchant Port here, and I almost feel like it's weird to think that is Alki's counterpick, because I feel like Shayd's got a lot of space to work with in order to set up smoke and missiles. But at the same time, Alki can also get some very good follow-ups here on this stage with how the platform alignment works.
Exactly, just like how you said it, Matthias. This platform positioning is so good for Zetterburn, because compared to Air Armada, where the 2 platforms are in the same distance, this one in particular has those 2 platforms at the very end, and Zetterburn's able to just immediately do a single jump onto those other 2 platforms towards the top, and just makes it such a good way to be able to combo extend. And now, Shayd looking for a way to keep the percent going on to Alki, and looks like was able to get the overheat forward strong from the air combo there, and now having the stock advantage.
It's all going to be a matter of keeping the momentum from there. And I feel that Shayd has the experience to actually set up some good stuff here with this, with again the smoke, putting the smoke down everywhere on the stage, trying to get the stage control. But right now Alki has stage control, and that is going to be a tough one for Shayd to come back from, and the up air is going to be just enough to take Shayd's life here.
Indeed, and now both players are pretty even so far. However, they're trying to find out who can outsnuff the other player's neutral game, and so far, Alki seems to have found the opening they were looking for, but Shayd is not relenting whatsoever, gonna keep playing this very defensive play style that's so important, gets the opening for the kill confirmed there off the side. And now Alki looking at a disadvantage here so far. Gotta hurry up and get something going before Shayd potentially takes this game to game 5.
And here's the thing as well, like, we've seen Alki go very deep for those edge guards, but Shayd has been on point with the DI in that game. The upgrade here is not gonna save you from anything, honestly. But at this point, I feel like Shayd has a very good defensive play, and Alki just needs to really get to understand where Shayd is going to DI, maybe catch him off guard. It's still going to be very rough, mind you, against players of that level, but still, Alki just with excellent movement overall and just very good follow-ups going very deep, and meanwhile Shayd just doing an excellent job with the defense.
Absolutely, and Shayd right now getting Alki off stage in the air. Perfect area for Eliana to play the games with. However, Alki was able to find a way to get back onto stage, and neutral is pretty much reset at this point. Shayd looking for a way to get into Alki, trying to find the opening, and he might have found the opening, but it looks like Alki was able to get the forward strong in and taking the game, and with that, the set, Alki will move on to winner's top 8.
Yeah, very well played from Alki. Maybe just a little bit of a poor DI at the end on Shayd's part, but that was still very tough, honestly, to DI that hit. I will just say, like, Alki did an excellent job in that matchup, as we were saying, with the follow-ups, with following up where Shayd was going to go, and that made all the difference.
Indeed. I mean, it was getting so close to the point where we thought that Shayd was